a lot of people actually talk about, when they talk about Vietnam, they talk about Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. But I've seen you as in TNS tracking 10 cities across Vietnam. So have you seen any sort of development in terms of population in those cities apart from Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi?
All urban centers are growing. They may not be growing at the sort of breakneck speed, if you will, that Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City have been. But everybody, or not everybody, but again, it looks like about 1% to 0.5% is moving into the urban areas every year. And I think the best way to put it, 15 years ago, close to 60% of Vietnam's GDP was derived from agriculture. Today it's less than 25%. So obviously the jobs are all in manufacturing, commercial services, so on and so forth. And that obviously attracts the population, especially a young population like Vietnam.
Population of Vietnam, yeah. Asia in general and Vietnam specifically has been talked about as having an extremely young population. Everybody talks about young population, but can you give us an overview of the pyramid of population in Vietnam so that we understand a bit more?
For the longest time, people kept on saying that about 60% of the population is under 25. Right now, 35% of the population is under 20 years old. However, in the next 10 years, 17 million new consumers aged 20 over will arrive in Vietnam.
That's 17 million. 17
million new consumers. People are living longer. And obviously, after the American War in Vietnam, there was a baby boom. And it's those baby boomers are now sort of just about to turn 20 or 25. So, again, there's, 65% of the population that is actually of consumer age. So that's quite strong.
That's
that works
a huge
out
consumer
to
market, isn't it?
56 million people.
56 million people in the consumer market. That's a big opportunity for anyone who is going to invest into Vietnam. And how does that affect the development of different sectors and the product categories in Vietnam?
The population of Vietnam, the young population of Vietnam, has sort of grown up with MTV culture, if you will. Okay, so things like mobile phones, the latest motorcycles, internet, branded clothing, all these type of sectors are really starting to flourish here. Obviously, young people don't have the big money that older people do. So, you know, if we're talking about cars or if we're talking about real estate or so on and so forth, that hasn't been affected that much. But if we look at the biggest growing sectors, right now the biggest growing sector in Vietnam is telecoms by far. FMCG is growing at over 15%. What we're seeing today is Vietnamese are becoming more busy, okay? Because they've become more busy, they look for convenience. Whether it's instant coffee or what have you, they're looking at indulgence. They're working quite hard. So maybe going for a holiday or a spa or something that is pampering to yourself. I guess the major trends are health, convenience, indulgence. A new one is what we call sort of self-expression or differentiation. I wouldn't say that the luxury market is the absolute opportunity, but there certainly is an opportunity in luxury as well.
What are opportunities for Vietnam in terms of the emerging middle class?
If you take a look at national Vietnam, in other words, the whole country, 63% of the population is what we call bottom of the pyramid. Okay, now this means that they're making under $200 a month, okay? So that's a huge opportunity for mass quality or mass products, okay? You've got about another quarter, 25%, which are middle class. And these are the people that can afford sort of almost any kind of basic product that you could in the US or the UK, because prices for those products very often are quite a bit cheaper here. Perfect example, you might pay $1 for a can of Coke in the U.S. or Australia, and here you know, for a bottle of Coke you pay about 20 cents. And then you've got the upper class, and here we're talking about people, households that are making $500, $600, $700, $800 a month or more, even up, well, I mean substantially more, but then you've got about 10 to 12% there. So obviously Vietnam has come from a very low base. When I arrived here, 62% of the population was living on or below the poverty line. Today, that figure is about 14 to 20% based on how you look at inflation. Okay, but having said that, you've got you've already got 35% of the total national population, which you could consider what we consider in Canada or North America as lower middle class. And then if you think you've got 35% of 86 million people, that's a substantial market. Absolutely.
Vietnam is still one of the few emerging Asian countries with the percentage of urban population under 30% of the total population. This, together with the extreme north, south, and central regional differences, make Vietnam a market to watch in terms of marketing and distribution. The two megacities are Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. Ho Chi Minh City is referred to as the commercial hub, while Hanoi, the capital city, is known as the political and cultural hub of the country. 78% of the rural population are earning less than 3 million dong, which is equal to about $150 per month. In urban areas, which takes up only about 30% of the population, however, the percentage of class E and F with less than $150 household income per month stays as low as 28%. Therefore, market size will vary according to which consumer classes you're targeting. If you're targeting the ABC classes of Vietnam with household income of 6.5 million dong, equal to about $325 and above per month, Vietnam is only a 9 million population market, living mainly in urban areas. If you are targeting the bottom of the pyramid with a low-cost approach, however, the market can be as big as 56 million population market, living mainly in rural areas. There is certainly an emerging middle class that takes up 26% of the population with household income level from 3 million to 6.5 million dong, which is about $150 to $325, living mainly in urban areas. This income class is normally referred to as the aspirational consumers, who will be moving into the upper classes in the future as the economy grows.